Hi there, it's Lee. How you doing? Well, this video is going to be, as the title says, it's about more of a video for the boys, but not really. I guess whoever's going to watch it is going to watch it. And I just want to say, if I look a little bit tired or distraught right now, it's because I am. Had a lot of late nights, and as a parent of young children, not old children, but and other parents will attest to this, but sometimes you want to stay up later on the weekend or something like that, but the kids are still up really early, so puts you in puts you in a fatigue like predicament. But it is what it is. No regrets. Very well. So yeah, I guess I'll be a little vulnerable for the talk here, and try not to have my guards up too much, because it is about that. It's about allowing yourself to melt. And I think it's important for guys to be able to know, especially the new age man, the spiritual man, to understand there's nothing wrong with being very much in touch with your emotions, your feminine side, if you want to call it that. Just as we see women more and more can find some masculine strength, so to say, like it can be able to be, a fighter for something, a fighter for a good cause, a rebel with a good cause kind of thing, freedom fighter, or a really good leader, a good example maker, creator, or even in the different situations where a girl could make the first move and say hello to a guy, something like that. So women are getting this because women are leaving the princess, the weakling, the gentle flower that has no strength. And not that was only what existed. You always had the motherly type and the grandmother. I understand, but I'm saying, as a global consciousness, as a shifting, it's more like a yin-yang scenario while still being the sex that you are. So, meaning to say, for men too, having been, we've always had feelings, my gosh, always been able to fall in love, always, and keeping masculine traits like the warrior aspect, the protector, the hunter-gatherer. It's all true, but at the same time, the new age spiritual person is becoming more, like the new age man can be more into his feminine side, which is a great thing. I think it's a great level of masculinity, a maturity, and a comfort in your manhood if you're not trying to prove that you're a man, or meaning to say you're not going out of your way to put on machoistic airs or something like that. So, as people should know, the soul itself, God, the entity, the isness, is not male nor female, it's both, is asexual. And incarnating in these bodies, we take on this or that body, this or that country, this or that sex. So these are things that we've all been dealing with. And what I want to say mainly about the video is, and without making it too long or exhausting it, was that there's nothing wrong with being able to be letting yourself heal the right way. One of my favorite things is catharsis, the old Greek word, and talking about bleeding your emotions rather than resisting them. The old thing that men did to men. I don't really think women did it to us. I think men did it to men. Is be tough, be rigid, and there can be a time for that. There can be a time to be strong, or unfortunately, in times of warfare and stuff like that. But those things are of the olden days. That's the old fears that are going away. But it's about letting yourself just be a soul, being vulnerable, allowing yourself to heal with it. And instead of suppressing it, I think that women have a great advantage in the sense of not suppressing their emotions, just naturally let it come out. It's a lot easier to tell, I guess, if a woman is happy or sad or angry rather than a man in some cases, because a lot of men still have that put on the air of, oh, I'm alright, like the strong outer shell, but really inside suffering and sad about something, or angry or dismayed or disappointed, or but both sexes have to deal with this. But I just want to say, really, there's nothing wrong with making yourself like that and allowing yourself to cry. And like one of the lines from Kurt Cobain, if people remember that gentleman, was to say, the finest day I ever had was when I learned to cry. I'm a man. And that's very true. It's like you're a living entity and you need to sometimes just do that. So from the time of this recording, today is the 1st of November 2015, and about a week or two ago, I had a good breakdown, really good healing cry, catharsis, and it felt wonderful. You know, it was just, it's not something that I do often or let myself do it, but when it happens, I think it's not necessary to fight it. Just let it come. Cry into your bed or your pillow, do your sobbing, and then feel better or whatever if needs be. My thing is, like I've had a few friends that could break down into tears in front of me, and one time I did it or so with somebody. But it's like, it's also hard for, I think, men to do it around someone. We kind of like we take our suffering alone onto ourselves. We don't really want to cry on someone else's shoulder. We kind of keep it to ourselves and just let it go. But I think it would be nice, you know, to have somebody, or you know, even a group of persons or whatnot, that you could actually just do that with and feel comfortable and not feel like you're doing something wrong, or you know, you're doing a taboo against your masculinity. Is just, you know, like natural and soothing, because it is healing. It's like, yeah, it's releasing emotion. The salty water tears are literally emotions coming out. It's like they're manifested and they're let out. It's like exhalation. It's a breath. There's no shame in it. It's wonderful. So I think, I know I had some friends talking about a few tough times, and I can say, you don't have to feel ashamed of that, my friend, or whoever you are. You know, if you feel you want to toughen up, or you don't want to crack because it makes you feel weak if you do it, I think it's not weakness. Actually, I think it's strength. It's not to be sissy or something like that, but even that's a bad word. It's not to say that. See, that's the old programming. Yeah, but it's about just to be a real person. And there's nothing to be embarrassed about. But I think it's like trying to overcome that, well, yeah, mental programming from all these years of things. But it's like, well, men and women have both cried since the beginning of this planet, since the beginning of time, eternity, in whatever planet, whatever place. It's just natural things. Sadness is a thing. But sometimes it's about a beautiful pain, or it's about a deeper level of self-awareness or self-acceptance. And it's kind of like shedding old skin off, or emerging from a cocoon and spreading your wings. And the most beautiful things in the world will always have a nature about them in the heart of it. A little bit aching, a little bit slightly painful, like, you know, looking at a wonderful sunset and just thinking, oh my, you're in awe. Like, it's so beautiful that it almost hurts. It's amazing. Or being in love with someone so deeply, or having an attachment to children, or loving humanity, loving the entire world. Sometimes I can say that for myself, and some of you could feel the same way, but sometimes it feels so big that I don't even know what to do. I literally feel, if you pardon the term, I literally feel crucified sometimes. I just feel like, because the heart is so stretched. It's like those beautiful paintings of Jesus in like maybe the Renaissance era or something like that. Just sort of it's just such a bowing down, such a sacred mastery of it, such a sacred mastery of understanding that level of vulnerability in the beauty of something. But anyway, that's just one topic within it. But I guess I'll leave it there. I don't want to make a long video that becomes redundant or something like that, too boring or anything like that. But I mean, I just want to say, if you're a guy and you've been in reserves about something or afraid of your feelings, my brother, don't be. Be like our sisters. Let yourself bleed it out. Sometimes it's going to feel freaking fantastic. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you owe it to yourself. And, you know, maybe you'll be surprised at yourself, to be proud of yourself, to let yourself get to that level of a cathartic moment. It's glorious, you know. So I just want to say, you know, I'm discovering it in myself more and more self-acceptance, more getting over shames and old programs, and just to be a soul, just be what you are, who you are, a living entity. Well, I hope to anybody or not, but I hope I did, you know, that's what I mean, trying to say. But yeah, helping myself by bleeding it out, and I'm offering my rosy heart to anyone else to connect, have the same spiritual, you know, understanding with each other. Because in the end of it, we're all become best friends. That's the truth. We're all soulmates somehow, in some weird way in the higher skies, is what I mean. Yeah. All right. Blessed be, and catch you on the flip side. Bye.